What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy J Star back again. We got the final look at the week 7 here. We're going to get into this as we always do, breaking down from the injury reports and then into, the best stack situations going in after these injury reports get reported first. So let's get right into this. It's looking like for what game is this? So the first game here, we got Detroit and the Ravens game. David Montgomery is out. I'm sure y'all all know that. Gibbs is a go. One of their offensive guards is out, and then Craig Reynolds is going to be questionable, which is going to kind of suck because we're going to have to wait now to probably Sunday morning to know for sure that he's able to go. And looks like besides that, that's about it. We can move on to this next game here. Well, my bad. The Ravens cornerback Seymour is out. Marcus Williams safety is out too. So got to look into that and see how much should that affect anything right there. Maybe with the safety being out could help Laporta or something like that. Going into the Raiders game, a lot of injuries here, of course. Jimmy Garoppolo's out. Nate Hobbs is out and Jacorian Bennett is out. So we got a slot cornerback and I believe an outside cornerback too that's going to be out in this game. So, man, it's kind of sucks that Fields isn't going to be playing because he is out. Roshan Johnson is out. One of their offensive linemen is out too. Eddie Jackson, I'm trying to remember if he's the slot cornerback because I know Kyler Gordon and also Johnson on the other side. So I think he might be the slot cornerback there for the Bears. Other than that, looks like they got some questionables on the O-line. And so we got starting quarterback going to be for the Raiders going to be Hoyer, and then we got Fields, we got Tyson Bagent. So not really much to tell you what to expect from that because it kind of sucks because we got a lot of injuries, that could benefit. I would say the Bears side, if anything, since 2 cornerbacks is going to be out. But it's like what to expect from the quarterback. Do we know how good he is? Last game he didn't look too well. But he did get thrown into the fire of midway or so through the game. So now maybe with a full week of practice, maybe he will be. So we probably will have to take some type of shots possibly there since he probably will be really cheap too. But having DJ Moore and Mooney in that slot area for him to take advantage of those cornerbacks probably, possibly could do well for that. Besides that, we moving on to this Cleveland and Colts game here. For injuries here, we got linebacker for the Browns is out in Sion. And then questionable, of course, for Deshaun Watson. But I think he probably ends up playing this week. We got Kareem Hunt questionable, which could be well for Ford. Because then he can just have the whole backfield to himself, I feel like, possibly. Harrison Bryant looks like he's questionable. And Greg Newsome is questionable with hamstring. So got to look out for that because I hope he does play for the Browns' defensive sake and everything. Then we got for the Colts side, Granson is going to be out. So that's one less tight end for them. And also it looks like Alec Pierce's shoulder is questionable now. And an offensive guard is going to be out too as well for the Colts. For the Bills and the Patriots, looks like Quentin Morris is going to be out at tight end. Ed Oliver is going to be out, defensive tackle for the Bills, and questionable for Cam Lewis at cornerback. Patriots have a crazy amount of injuries, but looks like so far out is going to be their O-line, Keon White, and Josh Oki, whatever, Ochi or something like that, the linebacker. So that could end up helping out some of the tight ends for the Bills situation there, though, with another linebacker looking like it's going to be out. Then we got a whole bunch of questionables, of course, with Demario Douglas, wide receivers, of course, Juju still in concussion, so don't know how that's going to work out. Hunter Henry with ankle, offensive tackle, Trent Brown, Cole Strange at guard, center David Andrews. Their whole offensive line is, oh my God, it's like questionable. And I just could see them getting hurt in the game too, as a run play or something, and somebody just lays on them or something. And then he ends up not having a whole O line for Mac Jones here because this is crazy. Defensive line, Trey Flowers questionable. Another defensive line. Godly Jonathan Jones questionable still with knee too. Another cornerback, Sean Wade, shoulder. Cody Davis, another D-back, knee. Jack Jones, hamstring. And that's another defensive back. And then their Kyle Duggar is safety is also questionable. Just their whole defense is messed up, it seems like. So I don't know what to expect from the Bills. It feels like they could have an easy day for them, especially if that O line cannot hold up in that game. So Mac Jones could be in for that defense, which is why they're probably the top defense on the slate anyways this week. So then we got Washington here and the Giants. It looks like no injuries to report for the Commanders. And then the Giants have their whole O line still is messed up. Looks like we got Andrew Thomas is gonna be out. Matt Peart is going to be out, and then their center is still out. Wow, just the whole line basically. Because then after that we got another old tackle and Evan Neal, offensive tackle and Evan Neal being questionable. Of course, Daniel Jones, we don't know for sure if he's playing yet still, which kind of sucks. I would like to just know, Tyrod Taylor is going to take, that backfield at least, but yeah, we don't know yet. And Adoree Jackson still has a neck questionable for him, which that's kind of a big deal if he ends up being out, because I believe he's a slot cornerback, and if he's out, then Curtis Samuel could be for probably a bigger game because of that. So gotta stay tuned for that. And then we got the Falcons here. It looks like nothing to report for them. They're pretty good. And the Buccaneers only got questionable for Vita Vea and outside linebacker Anthony Nelson for concussion. So most of their defense pretty healthy for both of those teams, and just healthy period for the whole teams. Steelers only have one out, which is Freiermuth. And then the Rams have, of course, Kyron Williams being out. Defensive tackle Murchison is out. Questionable for Ben Skoranek. If he ends up can't play, then they're gonna go heavily to Nakua. What I want to say, Tutu Nakua, and of course Cooper Kupp. Linebacker Ernest Jones is questionable, and Darion Kendrick, but that says personal, so we probably good with him. Then for this Cardinals Seahawks game here, we got let's see. So we got Kyler Murray, of course, still out. Offensive lineman Wilkinson is out, and then cornerback Antonio Hamilton is out. Wow, so that's a big deal. He was starting cornerback. I can't remember if it's a slot or outside right now, but that's going to be a big deal going into this game playing the Seahawks. And then their starting safety is out too, so their backfield is pretty messed up. They was already getting killed anyways, because Keitrell Clark, he has a hamstring, and he's one of the cornerbacks. Oh, my bad. He's the slot cornerback, so Antonio Hamilton is out wide. So that's going to be a big deal right here, especially if somehow DK can play in this game, because right now he's questionable. And who else we got here for their side? I think that's about it. But Buda Baker is questionable now. I thought he was out, is what I saw. So got to stay tuned for that too. But they're looking really banged up. The cornerback Garrett Williams is also questionable with knee. Yeah, man, the Seahawks could be in for, if DK can play, of course Lockett, man, like they're in for it right there, because that's a lot of injuries there. And the Seahawks side is pretty good. No injuries to report there. The Green Bay Packers game and the Denver Broncos, we got Campbell is still out, so that's going to hurt the run game for the Packers. One of those running backs, I just don't know which one still, because Javonte Williams hasn't looked too good, and then I think it's more likely lean towards McLaughlin still. But yeah, without Devondre Campbell, I still feel like that's going to mess up the run, stopping the run. At least they did a lot better against, I believe, the Raiders the last time they was out there. But still, I think I want to say, what's his name? Jacobs got to like 19 points or something like that, and was able to still get a goal line touchdown. Other than that, for the Packers side, we got Aaron Jones, of course, questionable. I think he's going to be a full go. He said he was as healthy as he's been since week 1. So I think he's going to be good. Jenkins, the O-line, knee questionable. Yash Neiman, questionable, but Devontae Wyatt, questionable, but I think all these people are playing. Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes. Still wondering if he's going to come back, because that's a big deal if he does. Finally get to play since from being on IR the whole season. And Savage with calf, and so that's about it. Yeah, I think all those people end up playing though. For the Broncos side, we only got Greg Dulcich is out. So Trotman is back, starting for them. The Chargers, Kansas City for the final results here. We got Jalen Guyton is out. They got Dean Leonard at cornerback. He's going to be out, and Gilman is their starting safety is out. So maybe they can attack downfield, with some Kelsey or something like that due to that. Also, one of their linebackers is questionable, and Derwin James is also questionable. So if he's able to play, then, he'll probably be lined up mostly with Kelsey anyways. So Besides that, it looks like on the other side, we got Justin Watson out for the Chiefs, and Jalen Watson thigh is questionable. So let's get into this, man. Break this whole thing down here. Get my notes up so we can attack this slate real quick, as we always do. We got the Lions and the Ravens here to start it off, and it's looking at like for Lamar. Almost still the same things I think from what I said before. We got Aguilar in play since the slot cornerback is not really that good. He's playing in the slot the most right now. We got Flowers out wide, cornerback there, and deep shots has been taking the most to like Flowers in this team. So definitely they can attack there since the cornerback there is not too good. And then we of course got Andrews, who's going against one of the weakest I think linebackers right now for this slate. I feel like besides I think it's one of their games. So Andrews is in for a huge game. We can continue to just get the targets there. So definitely those are the best stacks to go with Lamar. On the other side here with Goff, pretty tough game here. I think if they get down, they will be using Gibbs a lot for the dumps. And if Reynolds does not end up playing, then Gibbs is going to be in for a huge game because you're talking about this team wants to run. They want to, dump it off to their running backs too when they can. So he'll be in for a lot of touches. Like I said, if they get down at all in this game, he probably ends up with like 8 to 9. I feel like. Since this team is a hard team to like what I want to say attack defensively, I would say St. Brown is going to be definitely in play. He can line up in the slot and away from the best cornerbacks that they have on Baltimore. And let me see anything else I like. I would say also since Laporta is able to go, Laporta will probably be another person that they can attack the middle of the field, stay away from those outside cornerbacks and things like that. I think these are the like best plays here. Besides, of course, if Reynolds is able to go 4,900, I don't see why. Because if they get to the goal line, they probably will put him in over Gibbs to try to rush it in from there. So definitely, he will be a play then. But we have to stay tuned to see if we get more information on if he's playing for sure. And then we got the Vegas Raiders versus Chicago. Like I said here, we got two cheap quarterbacks. Hoyer and Badgett here. Man, I don't know, what to expect from Badgett. I'm thinking though, definitely like I said, Mooney's, definitely in a good spot, and of course, Moore is in a good spot. They're going against backup cornerbacks here, so I feel like they definitely have a chance to hit. And Mooney hasn't hit at all this time, but definitely they're in play. Also, they go a lot to commit on this team, so definitely I would say these three could be, something to take a shot at with Badgett. Don't really know much from him though, like I said, so. It's the only thing, but he is at home, so maybe he can get something going there. For Hoyer on the other side here, I think it's going to be a lot of Jacobs and a lot of Mayer. That's what I feel like mostly. I don't know how much he's going to be able to attack downfield with those wide receivers. Since they do have their starting cornerbacks back in Chicago, they was out for most of the games when they was looking very sorry, and now they're both back. And they looked a lot better, at least against Minnesota. And I know they was without Jefferson, so but of course, Devontae Adams is, a great receiver. You can still take shots there, of course. And Myers has been playing well, but he was playing really well with, of course, Garoppolo with that chemistry there. So, definitely you can still take shots here. I'm sure they're going to be very low owned. But to me, I just feel like the Raiders will definitely lean on a lot of Jacobs, dumping it off to Jacobs. Chicago has been getting killed by pass catching backs anyways. And then getting Myers the ball. I feel like, Mayer the ball as well. I really feel like that's the way they can, end up scoring and having good points there fantasy-wise. And, of course, trying to win that game for the Raiders at least. For the Cleveland Browns and the Colts here, hopefully Deshaun is able to play. If he is able to play, I like Ford here. And then I would say, let's see, what else is here coming on in this game here? Looking like, Cooper is still in play. I mean, there are very weak cornerbacks here, but it's just that Cooper, for some reason, does not show up on the road. But you still got to take shots because he might be low owned. And like I said, everybody has been able to do well against the Colts. Defense hasn't been good at all. Also, I think the slot area, but Cooper kind of goes into the slot too as well for this team. So Elijah Moore hasn't done well yet. I mean, he is their slot cornerback, so if you want to take some shots or you get to that level, pricing or something like that, you can take him. Besides that, though, we have a tight end, great spot for him. And the Joku linebacker here isn't really good, giving up a lot of yards and things like that. So I would say somewhere in here is probably the best places to stack for Deshaun Watson. And if it ends up being a backup, this would be the same thing too. So then for Minshew, it's not really much here. Cleveland's defense is really tough, man. I know the Colts, since they are at home, they're going to lean on these running backs for sure. I just still don't know which one it could be, but two explosive backs so far, especially the way Moss has been playing. I see them definitely leaning on that, trying to stay away for the outside cornerbacks unless Greg Newsome does not play. But I see them going to Downs. Without Granson, I don't really know which tight end to take because I feel like Granson was one of their better ones. So it would be Downs to me, and also, like I said, maybe one of those running backs can come do something for Minshew. Besides that, let's move on. We got Buffalo and New England here. Mac Jones, man, if I'm taking anybody with Mac Jones, it's probably like a Stevenson, him dumping it off, and also Bourne. Bourne has done well against this type of defense so far for them. But besides that, I probably wouldn't even want to stack Mac Jones at all anyways. But on the other side here, man, with all the injuries for freaking New England, man, golly, man, we're out of in for, maybe James Cook can do something here because if they get up really big, they're probably going to lean on the run after that to put the game away. So he's possibly in play. But as for receivers and things like that, of course, Diggs is getting mad targets. Davis is getting a lot of deep shots, so he can hit on possibly two, targets or something like that because he's getting all the deep plays. At slot receiver for them has been Kincaid. They haven't really went to they kind of use these two to move into the slot, but Kincaid is actually getting the most targets from the slot. So he's basically their slot receiver. So if you want to try to pick a tight end low right there, you can definitely try to take that if you want to stack with what I want to say, Josh Allen too as well. And then what I want to say here, we got Washington and the Daniel Jones, man, questionable. Like I said, I wish we just knew he was playing or not. But for now, we'll just say if Daniel Jones is playing, of course, Saquon looks like, he had a mad touches, so you got to always say Saquon's going to be in play with the mad opportunities he had last game, 24 with 5 targets. He gets that again, possibly against Washington, and if they can possibly be winning the game, he's going to go off probably. Then for targets here, man, I'm definitely Wandale has been really good. Hyatt actually got in a little bit more last game. But Slayton and Hyatt, I kind of would lean more to the explosive players here in these two. And of course, Waller for this team, if I'm looking to stack anybody, Daniel Jones has done good and it's been without any players with him. It's kind of weird, man. So if I'm stacking anybody with him, I'm taking one person, so because he hasn't shown that he can do good with multiple people. If it was a multiple thing, it would to me be taking maybe a Hyatt and Barkley or a Waller and Barkley or something situation if I was double stacking with Daniel Jones here. Moving on to the other side of this game, I actually like how the game before this last game threw 51 times. Then before that, he threw 41 times. If, all it takes is for it to just finally hit, man, with the with his receivers and stuff. Brian Robinson has actually been doing pretty well, so I definitely would say he's going to be in play. They like to use him a lot. McLaurin is getting all of the targets and things like that. Curtis Samuel is just getting the bigger plays. So I definitely like these two here. And, of course, like I said, Brian Robinson has been getting getting into the goal line and scoring for them too as well. So, but like I said, if he's going to end up being in some type of random shootout here, you see he's willing to throw a lot. And he's throwing to these two receivers the most. So, like I said, if they end up hitting for once, they're probably going off at that. Moving on here, we got Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Atlanta just hit for the Millionaire Maker last week, the Atlanta stack. And then we're basically saying the same stack again. Tampa has been pretty good against the run. So I don't know how much Bijan Robinson, he's very explosive, so you can still take shots on him. But when it comes to if they do stop the run, then we know Drake London is going to be in play. He's getting all the deep shots. And besides that, for slot, for receivers, for them, they're using both of these tight ends. So either one of these tight ends is good. Pitts just gets the bigger plays down the field, but John was getting those little chunk yards, dumps and things like that. And of course, the goal line, attacking the red zone and things like that too as well. So either one of these tight ends could be a good play because they're basically a slot receiver for Ritter. On the other side here, Baker, it's pretty simple. It's Mike Evans or Godwin, and that's really about it. Of course, we know Atlanta has been bad in the tight end. He just doesn't go to the tight end enough here. But if you want to take shots here on a dart throw, that he ends up throwing 6 times to him to 4 times, possibly then he hits for a touchdown or something like that for 2,900. I mean, it's not that bad, like hopefully he can get you that 8 to 10 points, so because he is in a really good spot there. Moving on here, we got, let's see, Pittsburgh and the Rams here. So what we got going on here? It's looking like, I wonder, well, we won't know this until Saturday because he's been practicing fully. It looks like maybe Deontay Johnson is back. For Pickett, it would definitely, I think he needs Deontay Johnson to be back since they play heavy zone here. Deontay Johnson was the receiver for them. Also, the Rams have been giving up the slot area, which is where Allen Robinson is at. I know he's still pretty old and slow, but maybe he gets a goal line touchdown or something like that, especially since their tight end situation is missing, and I feel like they really needed that. Let's see what's going on with Darnell Washington last game. He had 2 targets, 1 target. Yeah, so not really much to expect there. I feel like, they probably would just lean on their receivers. But like I said, Deontay Johnson, Pickens has done really well against man-style defenses, and don't know what to expect really from him, but if you want to take a shot there, you still can because he has been getting targeted. If somehow Deontay Johnson doesn't play, then he's still going to get mad targets his way. So definitely can still hit for that. For Stafford-wise, though, man, it's pretty simple. We do have some value running backs here, but don't really know what to expect really from any one of them. You got the Evans here, Zach Evans here for 4,000. Royce Freeman will be playing too as well. They're saying they might use Royce Freeman for the pass catching back. Don't know for sure though, but it looks like Zach Evans will at least get the start. They also did pick up Myles Gaskin, and he's coming from the Minnesota Vikings. So play style is exactly the same because O'Connell over there is comes from the Rams offense. So could be used. I feel like Myles Gaskin probably could end up playing and be used more for the pass catching back than a Royce Freeman. But we got to see for sure if he gets activated and everything, and not on the practice squad for sure, come like Saturday or something maybe. But so far we got Zach Evans for sure at $4,000 you can take a shot at. Cup is definitely going to be in play. And of course, Puka. These two are probably going to benefit the most if they end up leaving the run game completely for this, game. Even though Pittsburgh has given up points at the running back position, the Rams do plays though for receivers that are like run plays. So and they will even try to run with one of them if they can. Maybe Tutu gets one of those rushing touchdown type plays. So he could be in play for that. But besides that, I feel like they're going to go heavily attacking. Pittsburgh because they have done really well against zone defenses and attacking them and getting really great yards against that. So could be just a good game for Stafford because he has to throw a lot. I do know he does throw picks though sometimes, so it does suck about that because that could possibly happen if he has to throw too much or something like that. So then we get to Geno in the Cardinals game here. Dobbs is going to be in play with. Let's see. So we know Marquise Brown's getting mad targets over there, of course. I told y'all we like to attack Seattle in the slot. It's looking like Michael Wilson and Rondale Moore Rondale Moore is always in the slot. So he's going to be in play because he's always in the slot. But Michael Wilson has had the best production. So, either one of these two can definitely do well in this game. If you want to stack with Dobbs or just take one of them to run back in this game, definitely they're a good play there. And it looks like for Geno's sake over here, we know we got Kenneth Walker. Really good spot for him. Want to know this news on DK because I really like DK going into this game. If DK cannot play, then Lockett is going to be a huge play. And it's also going to get, maybe a spot for a JSN to finally get an opportunity. So it could be some shots to take there if DK is not able to play. If DK is able to play, then I'm definitely rolling back with these two being in a good spot over JSN, of course. Moving on from this one here. Got the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos. Russell hasn't really looked bad at all. I think his points has been pretty good, except for the last game against a rivalry at that. Before that, hadn't played a rivalry team at all and has looked pretty good every time. So I'm thinking if he gets the run game going with one of these running backs, it probably ends up being pretty simple for him. McLaughlin, and I'm thinking Judy, since we've been getting attacked in the slot for the Green Bay Packers. I think Judy is probably in for one of his best games. Besides that, most of these receivers don't move into the slot as much, so they probably are going to have a harder time. Without having Dolchich, I don't know what to really expect from Trotman here, because he goes to him sometimes and then doesn't go to him at all. So these are the kind of the three I'm sticking to right there for the best stack with Russell. And for Jordan Love here, I'm thinking Aaron Jones is going to be in play, since I do think he is going to play. And for receivers wise, man, I'm wondering if Patrick Surtain is going to follow Watson. I got a feeling he probably does, and that would lead to probably Dobbs playing better or Reed having a better opportunity. So, because I'm really thinking he's probably going to shadow cover Christian Watson. So Dobbs and Reed, I feel like will have the better opportunity. So far, Reed has had what I want to say, better production, I think, in deep shots and things like that. Besides, of course, Watson, of course, he's definitely one of the deep catches and things like that. But Musgrave has done really well, so I do like Musgrave. And besides that, like I said, I'm thinking it's going to be Dobbs or Reed end up doing better than Watson here, just because he has the harder matchup. If they can get this going with the run game and Musgrave, maybe they are able to have a breaking coverage or something like that, and Watson is able to hit. The best thing about Watson is that he can do it in 2 to 3 catches and already be going off. So that's the best thing. Besides the other, receivers here, they're probably going to take more volume to get there. Moving on, though, from this game, we got one of the best games, on the slate, of course. Probably the best game, at least the most exciting game for sure. We got Pat Mahomes, Pacheco here. And still, we also got an added receiver back for their team in McCole Hardman. I wonder, does he get right into the game and play? Since Watson is out, does that put him into the Watson spot? Do they try to take some deep shots with Hardman here, man? Because he knows all the plays, basically. Like, I don't think much has changed for him to not understand. He probably goes right in and ends up scoring the first day. So you want to take a gamble here with Hardman, you definitely can. Besides that, it should be Rice. Rice should benefit the most since he's in the slot. Tony is in there too, but Rice has had the better production so far, so I'm leaning more towards Rice there. Kelsey, of course, is going to be in play for a big game for him. Looks like, I think the linebacker here has been pretty bad for the Chargers, so yeah, we're looking at Kelsey could end up going off finally huge. On the other side of this game, though, with Herbert, Eckler, is always going to be in play. They run their offense through this guy. So with Keenan Allen, of course, they're both the same price, though. So you got to pick and choose, like pick your poison there, which one you really think is going to get it done. Palmer is definitely going to be in play since he seems to have taken the Mike Williams role. They are not really taking any other deep shots to any other receiver there other than Palmer. So it's definitely him. Besides that, I don't really want to take the tight ends here. I'm thinking it's more in this range here, and more than likely it's just these two. I feel like for this game, since they are on the road, definitely think they'll lean heavily on those two. And so now, man, after that final look, man, trying to think, where do I want to attack this week, man, the most? And it is looking like, let's see, who do I like the most here, man? I think I'm going to lean to a Howell stack here, man, just because I feel good about Washington, man. I actually feel good about Washington this week. So I'm going to go ahead and take Howell. I know it's a cheaper stack here, but think I'm going to go ahead for now and take Curtis Samuel, since we have a banged up cornerback there. Possibly ends up playing, but still has been giving up a lot of production there. So I definitely think these two could possibly hit for me here. Even if he also gets McLaurin, that's great too, for me. For how I still think Curtis Samuel ends up, doing pretty good for $4,000 too. For running back, man, I gotta go with my guy Kenneth Walker here. For my first back there on the list. And then let's see, at receiver, let me get another receiver option here done. Let me see, what do I want to attack here? Man, do I want to grab something from the KC game or what? think I should probably. I might lean to Rice for now. Go to Rice here. Let's see. At tight end, I'm gonna pay up for my tight end this week. I'm gonna go with Andrews. He's just in a great freaking spot. Feel like he's probably going to go off in that spot there. 5,700 might be too cheap to me. And then let's see what we got. We got a lot of money here. Man, I might be able to get the best defense with this going this way. But let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Aaron Jones. I think he's gonna play, so at least I'll pay up there for a running back here. At wide receiver, we still got some good money here. I wonder if I take the best defense, where would I be left at? Or should I go ahead and take a little bit of savings and drop in with the Browns defense or something like that and see what we got? Okay, so we at the 6,500 range here. If I take Keenan Allen as a run back against Rice, we're left with 4,400. And we got Bourne. Let's see. And okay, Tutu Atwell. See, do I want to leave it with that? Do I stay in this stack area here? I know also I think if I would have took 4,800, no, I wouldn't have been at the right spot where I wanted to be at. That also, man, I'm thinking. Let's see. Do I want to stay with this stack here late, or do I think of another stack I like a little bit more? But in the late field, because so far I think we got what? We got Walker. You know what? No. Let me see something here. I think I'm going to go with the stack in this Seattle game because I really did like. Let me see this real quick. I'm going to take the Michael Wilson here to go against Kenneth Walker there at least. So I have those two late already. The rest of this thing is pretty much early so far. And then it's looking like, where do I want to go now? Okay, so any big receivers that I really love. So far, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm probably going to go a little bit more heavier on this Seattle game then. Take Lockett there. I'm at 7,900 here. We got Nakua. Yeah, so I probably would go with Nakua then because the Rams might be leaning heavily on the pass there. Also, I know I had an option to take Jacobs too, so I don't mind switching that out there. But I think something like this is where I would be at right here because I do like this. Now I'm able to get, so far what we got here. We got Washington stacked there with him and Samuel. Perfect. We got Kenneth Walker with Lockett, run back with the Michael Wilson, like that. And then we have Aaron Jones, just a solo there. Andrew solo there, and Nakua solo there against Pittsburgh. Do like all that, man. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. That's it for the final look. Your boy J Star. Hope this really helps y'all out. Stay tuned. We got the Sunday night and the Monday night showdown. It's your boy J Star. Good luck this week, y'all. I'm out. Peace.